Here we go. So now we should be definitely live. My first stream with StreamYard, and I've just been talking into a camera and a microphone with nobody here really, because obviously I was talking to myself and I hadn't even clicked the record button. So when I looked at the top right hand corner to see record, or see that it said to enter live broadcast, it wasn't there. But we're here this morning to discuss the Ipswich Town season ticket news. Big news this morning, really, and a mixed reaction. I've got a guest joining me in a second. I can see him in the live green room. He has prepared himself, ready for you beautiful people. Should anyone join us to watch it. But as you can see, I'm so not prepared for this broadcast that I didn't even do the famous Lambert Barnett. So yeah, there we go. That's the way it is. I will now welcome in Mr. Game Match Day himself, Mr. Thomas Seggins. There he is. How are we?
Good, thanks. You?
Good. So obviously we've finally heard season ticket news. What are your thoughts first and foremost?
I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest. I know some people are a bit opposite, not keen, but for me it answers the right questions. I know there's no online vouchers for the club shop, but
is there not?
No, you have to spend the vouchers online in the shop. Sorry.
So you have to actually physically go into the shop to get those. Okay, I thought there'd just be a universal amount you put into your account, and then you can go about spending it online. That's interesting.
No, I think it's just if you choose the vouchers, you've got to spend in the shop, which is a bit of a shame for people who can't get to the club, obviously. So obviously they'll got to wait for match days, or
yeah.
And also means if you want to buy the new shirts, you can't use the vouchers, unless of course you go for the refund option and then wait until September. Use it online,
yes.
or even keep that money.
Where do you sit on this installments malarkey, Thomas? A man as rich as Marcus, could he have not paid the cash up front to customers?
I understand both sides, because if you paid it all back in once, then the club's losing 12 grand or something, isn't it? So it's a lot to fork out one in one, especially if everyone chooses the refund option. Of course, if not everyone decides that, then they can pay it all back in one. So they had to prepare for that. They had to prepare for the instant that everyone chose a refund, let's say.
Sorry, I just got to stop you there. I'm laughing because my wife has just fallen over right in front of me.
It's on camera. We can all that laugh.
I wish it was caught on camera, because she started to get up from her sitting position, and then she's fallen back down again, and that's why I started to smile. Just in the corner of my eye, I just saw this fall, graceful. 6 out of 10. Tom Daly will be proud. But do you think it's been handled well? Do we think we've had it on time? Do we think the club have missed opportunity to appease some fans? How are we feeling on how the club have handled the situation?
It's later than what it should have been, I think. I know we had to wait for the new ticket provider and all that to come through, which it makes sense in a way, but there should have been an announcement beforehand. Could they not announced it a month ago and then said you won't get anything until you can't do anything until today, until we go over to the new ticket provider? That's the bit I don't understand. Surely they could announce it so we all knew what we were getting, what we could do. We've got a month to decide instead of 2 weeks. And then we could have, this week, perhaps this Friday, the deadline, we could have all said, right, we want to do this, all do it, and then it's done then, isn't it? They can all decide. Instead, we've got to wait until the 22nd now.
Absolutely, yeah, no, without a shadow of a doubt. Sean Button, welcome to the I don't know what to call it. Is it a stream? I suppose it is. Welcome in. As you can see, I wasn't prepared for the situation, Sean. I just thought, right, I've just downloaded StreamYard. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, absolutely. More than welcome to voice your opinion. I'll tell you what, I can try and invite you into the chat at some point. But yeah, would love to hear your opinion. Love to hear anybody's opinion who's watching. Some that don't have YouTube won't be showing as watching, but they will be. just reacting really to today's news. Obviously, we had a fantastic piece from Thomas already on the HDR Network, reacting in such a manner that you do with some fantastic written words. And obviously, we've got a piece coming out on Friday discussing the year Marcus Evans took over, funnily enough.
Yep. Well, it was just after, wasn't it? It was the season just afterwards.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting timing. Without giving too much away, how do you feel about the new shirt? As in, like,
the home one?
Yes, the new home one this year. Do you like it?
I do, yeah. Like I said in the piece that I wrote, it's a bit lazy because it reminds me of 17-18. But again, like I said before, what do you expect of Adidas? It's
exactly.
There's so many templates and that come around. It kind of, I know we've got a deal now, but I do like the Adidas kits, to be fair. But it kind of makes you appreciate what Punch were like. It's for the fans.
Doesn't it?
Got to choose what shirts we wanted. You know, we had the option of 3 each season. It was every 2 years, so they were a bit more value for money.
Yeah, you see, we're old enough to remember those situations. I mean, when they used to parade people around the pitch saying, "Vote for option A, vote for option B, etc., etc., etc." Just got Sean comments there on the screen. I don't know if you can see that yet, Thomas. We need to get behind Lambert. We all know Frank Lampard turned the job down as he can't work without money. Do you think there was a lot in that Frank Lampard situation?
I do, yeah. I heard somewhere he had houses at Ransoms, didn't he? Didn't he buy a load of houses? I think it was like ages ago. So there's definitely got an Ipswich link. But I didn't think it'd ever come. He was never going to work in our budget.
No, absolutely not. The moment Derby became available, I think he was always going to go to Derby.
Yeah, definitely.
And that whole summer was really interesting, wasn't it? Because we had Frank Lampard, the guy that went to Sunderland, Jack Ross. Was it Jack Ross? He's now, I don't think he's even got a job at the moment.
Is it Scotland, isn't he? Isn't he in Scotland again?
Is he in Scotland again now? I know that he fouled with. Yes, definitely. I know that he fouled with Sunderland. But that was a really interesting summer. And the reason why we're now a League One club, and the reason why we're now still sowing what we reaped back in that summer, because the situation we find ourselves in is League One. Situation is a financial mess. Yes, Sean, to answer Sean there, that Marcus Evans, I'll just put another script. There you go, another one. He is not Evans' biggest fan, but without him, we'd be the next Wimbledon. What's your first thoughts when you read a comment like that, Thomas?
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say he's at Hibs.
He's at Hibs.
Yeah, so he went back to Scotland. But yeah, I definitely think without Evans, we'd definitely be in a much worse position, especially in the moment that we're in now, the crisis. I know that randomly Ipswich Town decided to use Matt Holland's just say, didn't they, to kind of our owner. But for me, he's had his faults. You know, if he'd have invested in 15, would have done better. Arguably, if he invested in January this year, we might not have finished 11th with PPG. We might have finished first or second. But at times, we've got to be grateful to have him because he helps with that. He's helping us through this now.
Yeah, but he has got a 90-odd million stake at heart.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I agree with the frustrations with option A today. Like for me, that's probably what I'll do. But I understand.
Talk us through option A for those that haven't read the statement.
You can donate the money to donate your refund to the academy or the community trust. Or I think it's just both, isn't it? So you can then you get £50 or no, you get 50%. Sorry, of your vouchers. Get 50% of the profit. What do you call it?
I don't know. Let me just get the quick link up. Where do we? You see, that's a funny one for me, that Thomas. Donating to the academy, because that's a situation we've found ourselves in before as Town fans. Donating to an academy that we don't necessarily see the rewards from, and that might be controversial. But when we bring a player through, no doubt, undoubtedly, within 12 months, they're sold again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and we're going to see it with Downs now, aren't we?
Yeah. So, and I said tongue in cheek to somebody on Twitter, do we financially get a percentage of that sell-on clause if, you know, for players coming through in future years, if you've donated to the academy? I mean, because Marcus Evans doesn't donate money out of the kindness of his heart. He puts in and takes out, as he should do as owner.
Yeah.
Is the academy, because they've, as you say, they've labelled it in with the trust, haven't they? Almost making it appear as a charity option.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
Is that the right way to go, making it appear like a charity option, or is it, because as you say with Matt Holland as well, pulling on those heartstrings? It's been an orchestrated PR attempt, hasn't it?
I think it has, yeah. I think I do agree with what you're saying. Yeah, it is going to work. But I do think they had to protect the club in some way. I know he's worth 750 million. I know Richard Moss has come up on the screen as well now. He is worth 750 million, and in some ways, yeah, he probably could afford to pay us all back. But at the same time, it's a business. So if you buy an oven, and it doesn't work, yeah, you're gonna get a refund. So, but there's 12,000 of us expecting a refund now. As a business, you can't afford to spend that all back at once. Unfortunately, I know people want it back, and I understand why, but I don't think it's profitable to be able to do so. Especially as he's probably not. He hasn't got access to all of his funds, I guess.
No, absolutely no. Yeah,
I don't want to sound like an advocate to Marcus Evans, because he has got his flaws, but I'm just there's so many ways to look at it.
We need that though. You need that though, don't we? We need the yin and the yang. We need the balance. We all can't be one way and we all can't be the other. We've got to have a little better balance. And obviously, Richard Moss, as you've mentioned, with his begging bowl, I've just sent a link out to you, Richard. If you're more than welcome to come and share those thoughts to the people on a live chat that will be replayed over and over again. Similar to a situation he found himself in when he was protesting against Jim Magilton. So did you see that on Twitter recently? That was brought back out and used against poor old Rich.
Well, I mentioned it in the article. That's been.
Yeah. You did call them a certain. Yeah. I did read it with a bit of a wry smile. Richard Moss again. Let's just put that on the screen. People get full refunds on holidays that they have cancelled. Don't worry, have to wait X amount of months. Yeah, I did see something actually on the money saving expert saying that clubs, or well, not clubs, but businesses had to give full refunds. So I suppose spreading it out is still a full refund, isn't it? It's just you're not getting it in one lump, I suppose. But
again, no, that's you've refunds on holidays, but how many people have bought a holiday? You know.
Yes.
Is it 12,000? Is it 12,000 expecting a refund because of the coronavirus? I understand where he's coming from. Like I say, it's very hard to, and I don't know the facts and figures, so I can't really go into that, answer that very well. I mean, it's a hard one.
It certainly is. And Sean Button has just replied saying the only way Evans will go is if fans vote with feet, but the boys need us. We are 12th man. We are the injury in that Bobby Robson stand. We need to pull on that new blue shirt. And I can see that I've got the cruncher waiting in the green room. So we shall bring him on. I think it's one on, one off, if that's okay, Thomas. So my first time using Streamlabs. I'm not sure if you caught the introduction to this live stream, but this is my test run, if you like. And I don't know if I can have more than one. So if we'll just swap you over, that's all right. Make a 61st minute substitution. But thank you for your time.
It's 85th, isn't it?
Yes, and I will invite Mr. Moss on. I will speak to you soon, Thomas.
See you later.
See you, mate. Oh, here we go. We got the man, the myth, the legend, joining us live from his front room.
Isn't this new?
Isn't this new? Yes, I didn't reveal it to you guys last night.
I've been watching the kitchen floor, and I thought, oh, I've got a live link, and here we are.
Yeah, well, I saw you pop up, and I was like, well, we've got to get the cruncher on with his thoughts. But I didn't mention it to you last night in the podcast because I wanted just to test it out before I said, oh, hey, guys, I've got a new bit of kit that might not be 40 minutes restrictive. Always good. And here we are. So, Cruncher, talk me through your thoughts on Mr. Marcus Evans and his 4 options.
Pleading poverty, Marcus, once again. You know, it's hard times. please come and help me. You know, the club are in a difficult situation. Look, everyone's in a difficult situation at the minute, you know, so option
They
four.
really are.
Yeah, option 4 was my preferred that I've taken up. I just feel it's a bit poor that it's spread over so long to get your money back when there's people out there who need the money now, don't they? I think. So it's going to come off my season ticket, which, look, it's fair enough, but not everyone's in that position where they can do that. Why is there not an option you can have a full refund now? Like I just said, if you've had your holidays cancelled, which a lot of people have, you're getting a full refund back. You're not waiting over 6 for it to come back, are you? You're going to get it all in one hit. So well,
He can afford to, though, can't he?
Of course he can. But people saying he's worth X amount, but he's not got that much money. Come on, Mark. Look, we discussed this last night, mine. We could go round in circles here with Marcus Evans. And will people vote with their feet? Maybe. 3,000 season ticket holders haven't
They'll come back.
Renewed, and a lot of them might be waiting to see what's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm going to have to apologise to Thomas, because I've just found the button that allows me to go for more than one person in at a time.
Get him back on.
And if he's more than welcome to come back on anytime he wants, if he's still around, absolutely. But I've just got somebody in the green room here, the virtual green room, who tweeted out this morning that they were okay with options. They were okay with what was on board. They were okay with what's being offered, and somebody who always provides a really good insight to life, and that's of course Mrs. Amy Downs. Welcome to the stream, Amy. Amy,
I was wondering what you were going to say then. Someone who always provides what? What's it?
I don't know. It blanked out then. It blanked out. It just completely blanked what I was going to say. So I don't know what I said, to be honest with you. How are we?
Yeah, good. Thank God they finally made the announcement. Hey, not
absolutely.
Like
you heard Richard's thoughts there.
Enough,
yeah, you heard Richard's thoughts there. Have you got a reply back to that? Obviously, Richard's not happy with the owner.
Honestly, I completely understand it. I think it's easy for me to say from the outside because I don't have a season ticket. But my argument, for like my own situation, which you know about, I had my hen do booked. So I had a few issues trying to sort that out with them. And I always said it's not possible for me to get down there. So, don't give me credit because you'll be paying me back for like 10 years for the game, for what you owe me. And I just think it's really, really, really important to appreciate that everybody's in a different situation. Rich is bang on that there are families, struggling to put food on the table at the moment, and it's a lot of money, even though it's only a few games. So I get it. I thought it was fair. I had been hoping that they would just offer a straight cash refund, but I don't think it's as simple as as I read it. I also thought it was very suspect. Suspect is going to get me in trouble for saying that word, but
never
had that long announcement from Evans, the long letter about doing the right thing and supporting the club, and basically guilt tripping you into saying I'll keep my money, it's fine, and feeling bad if you took the money off them. And I was just like, I think I've just seen you tweeting, Richard. I'm not buying his sob story, and I'm with you. I'm totally with you on that. It's not, Ipswich Town losing out on a little bit of money is nothing compared to families struggling without jobs at the moment. I just felt like sticking my finger up at him with that one. So totally get where Richard's from, but honestly, I think it was better than I was expecting. I genuinely thought they were just going to offer store credit for Planet Blue and that'd be it.
You can't use it online though, can you, Martin? I don't think. If you get credit for the shop, you've actually got to go to the shop to use it, which a lot of people live Look, I live about 80 miles away. I'm not just going to pop down there. It's all right if you live in town, 5-minute walk, and we don't know when we're going to get back to the stadium and use it on a match day. So they should have used that option where you can spend it online. But yeah, Marcus, we could go round in circles, Amy. I've said to Martin, he's begging poverty. He's worth nearly 800 million, and then he's spreading them payments out when a lot of people need that money now. So. It is what it is.
I think the thing is, I've just been talking online about how through all of this, it's the small businesses that have been amazing. So I've had to postpone my wedding, and all of the sort of like the suppliers that are making up that day are local small businesses that I've worked with, apart from the venue. Everybody, in fact, even them are a local business. Everybody has been really good at like keeping in touch and moving to next year or understanding if we want a refund. They've all been brilliant. The one hiccup I had was getting anything sorted with Ipswich, and it just feels really harsh that this seems to be the experience with everyone. Like, on conversely, I'm still waiting for money back from sea tickets because I was meant to be going to see Craig David, and we haven't had our money back for that yet. So these massive companies that could easily send, Ipswich included, just get that money out to make sure people, like, to increase the loyalty, is now they're messing us around, whereas the small ones that are literally relying on our money to survive this year are all having to go out. It seems wrong. I think, Martin, you and I talked about this sort of ingrained loyalty that we have with the club, in the same way that I would go to see tickets to get any, get my Take That tickets or whatever. I would go straight to them because I know they're like the official ones, and they're the ones that are taking advantage, the ones that have our loyalty. And Ipswich know they've got our loyalty for life. We're not going to stop going, are we?
No, and I think that's exactly it, isn't it? It's really poor from the club, and I just think people now in general are just tired, actually, of this behaviour from the football club. And I think, like, obviously the weekend articles, black holes, and all that was met with the right level of approach from town fans. And yesterday's comments, completely out of the blue, which should have really prepared us for anything coming, being not completely satisfactory, was Matt Holland. It wasn't like Matt Holland actually was giving an article or an interview about a wider issue, and it happened to be a question he answered. It was actually just about how grateful we should all be, like spoiled children stamping our feet. And I think people are now just tired of that, and they see that all of that as an orchestrated PR attempt, and they see installments as a way of keeping your money. And you're right, companies like Ticketmaster, for example, which I imagine Craig David sells his tickets through, they can be quite difficult to get back. Whereas the local shop down the road does the flowers, because I think it's more of a human level, isn't it? These people. You post on social media, I think it was yesterday, about a company who sent you brownies to say thank you for your fantastic work. That's because it's a human to human interaction, whereas you kind of get lost in this huge machine, right? How are we both feeling on the academy being brought into emotions every time? We had, when the club wanted to go for a category 2, not 1, and then they of course reversed that decision, but only once the fans had committed to spending their own money in helping to run it, which I believe was $1 million or $2 million back at the time. Now it's again brought up as a way of keeping your money in. Where do you stand on that? Because are we really reaping the benefits as fans from our academy when players come and then are sold within 12 months of emergence?
We've got a lot of young players coming through, but we all know in the end what happens. It was great last week when Luke Wolfenden signed a new contract. But then there was Lee O'Neill coming out and they questioned him on Flynn Downs, and he said there's no need to. He's still got another 2 years. But Wolfenden had 2 years, so that says to me he's probably going to be the one who gets sold. Going back on the tickets there, Amy, I had 4 concerts for this year, and there was only Stereophonics that got cancelled. I got a full refund. I got that back. And I was actually going to watch ABBA at Portman Road with my wife. That's been cancelled. They give me no new date. I contacted the club, can I get a refund? And they said, no, we're waiting on another date. So they said I can't have a refund. So, that's down to them. But also I was taking my kids to watch Liverpool Legends against Barcelona, and that was cancelled. So they said it was going to be rescheduled, but then I got an email on Saturday saying it's cancelled. You could put your money into the Liverpool Foundation, or you could get a full refund. Took the full refund. It's back in the account within 1 day. So Marcus, he's keeping hold of it. It's a lot of money if he's going to 12,000. If everybody took that option of having their money back, I know it's a lot of money. It is, but not a lot of people are going to do that, because I've seen a lot of people that've gone for option A, which is going back into the academy, which is fair enough, because that is the way we have to go. We know that. We produce our own players, but when we sell them for a pittance, it's a little bit of a kick in the balls, isn't it, really?
There's a huge part of me that thought that was a really nice thing to do. It's a nice way of saying, look, this money, it's not just going in Marcus Evans' pocket, as people are so fond of saying. It is, when we put money into the club, one of the things we are supporting is the academy. That to me is what that statement said. But then the cynical marketeer in me thinks, well, this is a tactic that's worked before and they're just using it again. It's another way of playing on people's loyalty and saying, well, look, if I ask, in fact, I've actually seen somebody say out on Twitter this morning, if you're asking for money back, you're taking it off the academy, and you're not a real fan. And that's exactly what, like, the emotions that they're playing on, is that you're taking money away from the kids, basically. And for me, it feels like it's been a proven marketing tactic that has worked in the past. Martin mentioned the asking people to basically help fund the academy in the past. It's worked and it's increased loyalty. So it fits in with the wider your 5-point plan about the academy, which includes bringing it through and things like that. So it fits into, as someone who works in marketing, it just all seems to fit into this wider marketing plan. And they've clearly gone away and thought of, the PR side of it, not just the financial side of it. But then I do think you've got to consider the financial side of it. Everybody's taking a massive hit. The club are, there's Wigan, obviously, we spoke about, have gone out of business. There will be clubs in League One who are going out of business. We hopefully won't be in that position, but we've got to consider that actually they are losing a lot of money. And then when big businesses are in that position, this is what they do. They shift around the money a bit, don't they, so that they can keep it all going. And that's what they're doing, is they're keeping our money to make up for the shortfall at the moment. If that doesn't sound like too much waffling there, I think it just feels to me big business versus should be a local community business, and I feel like we've lost that side of Ipswich forever, possibly.
I think, Martin, when you hear fans saying if we didn't have Marcus, or we'd be in a worse place to go into administration, are you telling me if he walked away, we discussed this last night, there wouldn't be a lot of people interested in buying our club? Are you telling me there's nobody out there?
Well, Matt seemed to indicate that there would be.
A year if you want to buy it. I do agree. I could see that being true. And then you look at people like Bolton and Wigan who go through these owners that they think it's all going to be all right, and then it goes tits up. I do get that. I do think that might be a possibility.
What I'm more surprised
what's the
about
answer?
is, well, what
or
I'm
we
more
could
surprised
have someone
Yeah, well, you see, what I'm more surprised about, Amy and Rich, is that we have not had more part investment. For somebody who's very wealthy and probably knows very wealthy people, if the football club was too much for him to handle, or it was too rich for his blood, as been suggested, then he would be selling off little stakes and shares where he could. He wouldn't have an issue with breaking up his investment to lower his yearly costs or recoup some investment money. The fact that he hasn't sold 25%, 30%, even 12% suggests to me, actually, he can afford what he's doing. He's just not prepared to go above and beyond, while equally not prepared to sit back and say, I will surrender a little bit of control. Because when you start selling your club away bit by bit, you start to lose control. So the fact he hasn't done that suggests he probably can. And we know he can. We know he's richer than the Queen, Simon Cowell, all of the dragons from Dragon's Den. I could go on. I could probably make some T-shirts with the people he's richer than. But talking about T-shirts, just to close it up, because I don't want to go on too long today. Sean Button there has said about the design of the new shirt. What's left is now the away shirt. What do we want to see from our away shirt? One at a time.
Go on, Amy.
So I saw the club tweet, it's going to be something completely different. And in my head, I'm thinking, do you remember that god awful Norwich goalkeeper shirt that was like rainbow coloured, like
What, like the
patchwork
David
type
Seaman one
thing.
in '96?
Awful. Yes. So I'm seeing something like that. One of my mates has suggested pink,
Yeah,
which I
pink
just cannot get my head around.
pink and black.
I would like something different, you know. Yeah, see that. What is it with you lot that like that? I think it's really odd. I can't. No, I won't be wearing that one. But I think I'd like something, you know, like a pale shirt.
Can you imagine that comment in reverse?
Shocking.
Oh yeah,
She would, Amy Dowd would be doing her nut if we'd said that about her.
it's more. Oh yeah, okay, it is. I don't get pink football shirts. It's got nothing to do with gender. I don't get it. I don't get pink football shirts. I find it weird. I suppose it's like people that can't cope with football boots that are black, that aren't black. It just seems weird to me.
I
Not
still
a
use
fan, and I
Pumas.
find it really odd when people get so passionate about how good they look.
Ashley Bell reckons the away kit will be similar to Leicester City's of this year, Rich.
That's pink, isn't it? Yeah, that's
Would
a
you like
nice
that?
shirt. Yeah, it's a nice shirt. Very nice.
Personally, I would love the David Seaman rainbow style because I loved that goalkeeper shirt in '96. I still love it. It's a great shirt. See, I'd buy that, and I don't often buy.
Amy's not struck on that, is she? I can see by her face.
Yeah, no. Well, Amy Downs is coming and dropped some bombshells today, boys and girls. You know, this will be replayed around Twitter forever and ever. Love it. I love it. Well, thank you for joining me on the inaugural, the first ever stream, little training session with this little bit of software. Thank you for your assistance, and yeah, so there we go. We've had the season ticket news. Now it's the kit news, and hopefully I'll be speaking to both of you again very soon.
Lovely. Thanks a lot.
But I'll leave it here for now. Cheers, guys.
See you
and
later,
for those
Amy.
watching and listening and watching it back, thank you very much for joining me and watching and whatnot. Obviously, subscribe to the channel. Head to Facebook. Got a fantastic Ipswich Town page, which Amy actually I think runs. I think she's trying to get as many numbers as she can so she can harvest it off. And she's gone just as I tell the joke. Look, just as I tell the joke, she goes. But yes, so there we go. Town news done and dusted. Subscribe to the YouTube. We've got the podcast, got the website, all of that. But until next time, I'm Martin. Catch you all again very, very soon. Now, how do we end a broadcast on? There we go. Boom.